I don't want to move. Actually, I can't.
Everyone has a unique gift, and Mike, the creator of the One Life podcast, believes most people don't know how to use their gifts or what they are. Mike wants you to see things from a different perspective and be true to yourself. The One Life podcast unites the world through art, fashion, music, and film. It inspires, motivates, and creates positive energy, love, and compassion to all communities, and creates an equal playing field for all. On the One Life podcast, they cover topics like building relationships, overcoming adversity, habits of healthy people, and much, much more. We only have one life to live. Be yourself and live your truth. Add the One Life podcast to your playlist. That's the number 1NELife. Available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and your favorite podcast platform.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the One Life Podcast. I am Mike M.I.C. Reed, and as always, I got my lovely co-host Diana Gotti from the AV Wellbeing Coalition, doing it the Gotti way.
Woo woo.
And we have our special guest today, Reina Padilla from Fusion Movement in the building with us. But first, we about to talk about our good friends over at the Palmdale Playhouse.
Yes, there's so much going on.
Shout out to Michelle Lee.
Yes.
And a happy birthday to her because it's her birthday this weekend.
On Monday. Hey.
Yes, happy birthday.
Yes.
But we got a lot to talk about with the Palmdale Playhouse because they're constantly hooking us up and giving us tickets, especially giveaways. And we're going to do another successful giveaway this week, you guys. To what is the
so
it's March 11th.
Yeah, there's so much happening, and shout out to our good friend Sean Hill. I'm so excited.
Yeah, what's up, Sean?
You know what I'm saying? I'm so excited to see him this weekend. So happening at the Palmdale Playhouse, that's Saturday, March the 11th at 6 p.m. Join them for a free entertainment for the whole family. Of course, the very talented Sean Hill will be there. We Tell Stories will be there. The West Coast Classic Chamber Group will also be there. Yes. And the Chameleons, they're going to be, it's a mine. So I am super excited for that. And it's a free event. Yes. So yeah, here in the Antelope Valley, sometimes it's challenging, to do anything with the family. So I definitely encourage, everyone to come out for that. And if you're not able to catch Sean Hill for that, he is going to be at another event called The Root for the Underground, a reading and poet conversation. And that's taking place Friday, March the 17th at 8 p.m. And that will be located at 681 Venice Boulevard in Venice, beautiful Venice, California. And with something else happening at the Palmdale Playhouse, at the city of Palmdale. And as we are in March, that is Women's Month. This is Women's Symposium, oh my goodness, hello, celebrating her stories, and that's happening Saturday, March the 18th, and this event is also free. It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Legacy Commons, and that is located at 930 East Avenue Q9, Palmdale, California. So again, this is a free event, ladies, so come out and embrace our womanhood, right?
Yes.
I love that. I love
this. We are definitely in Women's History Month, and that's why we got Reina in here with us today.
Hey.
We had Janet with us last week, and all month we're gonna have these powerful women in here with us. But I want to get to our giveaway. We have a special giveaway for Saturday, March 18th at the Palmdale Playhouse. This Ain't Your Daddy's Big Band.
Okay,
I love that.
This band is incredible. I heard the lead singer. He was there a couple of weeks ago. Because he's part of two groups, and he was amazing. I heard so many stories. And we gave tickets. We actually gave away tickets for that show as well, and we're giving out other tickets for this show. So we have about 8 tickets, you guys. Tickets are $13 to $15, but we are giving away tickets. And all you have to do is when I post the event later on today, all you have to do is share it and tag myself at One Life Brand or Diana at Doing It the Gotti Way, and the tickets are yours. That's how simple we're making this. But we have 8 tickets, so the first 8 people that share that post will get these tickets for the Palmdale Playhouse, March 18th at 8 p.m. This Ain't Your Daddy's Big Band.
Okay.
Can I just say that I'm so happy that you guys were giving away performance stuff,
right?
Oh, yeah.
Just being able to go and sit and watch. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad that, because it's so easy to just give away Starbucks cards, which is nothing wrong with that. But to give out an experience.
Yeah.
I love that.
No,
Yeah.
and you know what? It's
that.
crazy that the Palmdale Playhouse is such an incredible venue.
Oh yeah.
I
They've
love
been
that
around
venue.
for a long time.
I know, and it's sad to say that. What was it? Last month when Ashley was there, we just experienced it, and it's such a nice place. That's why we're going. Like,
and there was like a remodel. Did I hear that wrong? Or like they did a little bit.
I don't know because I don't know what it looked like before, but it looks really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
possibly.
they did a remodeling.
Maybe, yeah. I know there's a lot of construction going on there right now.
So,
Yeah.
So anyways, so what else we got going on? Just talk about the AV Wellbeing, the cohort.
Oh, yes. So
the CAP program. Come on, we got to talk about the CAP program.
know.
I'm excited about that. I can't wait. The CAP program is here, you guys, and
So
they are
this
accepting
is-
more applications.
Yeah, so this is to join the certification Apply Positive Psychology, and it's going down Thursday, March the 16th, and it's a Zoom meeting at either noon or 7 p.m., and you can contact Ms. Nardi Lopez at the City of Palmdale, and her email is nlopez@citypalmdale.org, or you can give her a call at area code 661-267-5177.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm honestly so excited to, been part of the first cohort. Not only that, but you're able to kind of navigate through a lot of just, I would say, emotions, but things that are very relevant in our lives right now. So I'm super excited for all of that to be going down, and I look forward to people applying for it.
You know what? Let's just talk about this for a minute before we get into Raina and all the incredible things she got going on at food.
Fusion movement.
That was a tongue twister.
It's okay.
It's all good. I'm just getting you back. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just joking with you. I'm joking with you. I did not do that on purpose.
Behind every joke, there's some truth.
That is not. But why is it important for people to start paying? Because mental health is such a big thing nowadays, right? Why? Because you already took the program. Why is it important for people to actually take this course or program, I should say?
I'll actually read what it says. It says, positive psychology is not about thinking all positivity. It's about strength-based approach to developing new neural pathways to think more flexible, accurate. Oh my goodness. Accurately.
It's contagious, huh?
I know. And accurately about the challenges and opportunities before us in the world. And sometimes when we think about well-being, it's feeling, or it's, what is it? Function. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, you forgot?
I am just like blanking out today. Yeah.
Did we have our coffees today?
I know. No, it's about,
I don't have the book in front of me, so I can't. You know, it's funny because I actually read that this morning because I'm still reading the book.
I know.
And I read that part this morning because I went back to the first couple of pages because I can't even talk. What is going on today?
Okay, guys, let's go.
Let's get this together.
Let's get this rolling.
Wait, what book are you referring to?
Well-being. What's the name of the book?
It's, oh my God.
We can't
We can't
It's
do
okay,
this
guys.
today. What is going on? No,
This is hilarious.
it's well-being in a work environment. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your well-being.
Well-being.
Your well-being in a work environment.
That's the book. That's what it's
Yeah,
called.
so it's also part of the Applied Positive Psychology, and it's by Michelle McQuaid, and she's the organizer of that, and that is the well-being lab. So she kind of she gives examples not only that you can utilize in the work in your work environment, but in real life, so it really gives you just different examples on even simple approaches on how you can communicate to someone else. But in reality, it's really life. You're not just doing that at work, right? But sometimes we think that that's the only place that we should be utilizing, that same mindset, like, you're not going to talk back to your manager with such a sass, with such attitude and being so rude. Why would you do it to your spouse? Why would you do it to your family? Why would you do it to your kids? So that's what I actually loved about it. At first when I received the book, I thought to myself, well, I'm at home now. Like, I'm not working. Like, is this even going to, be anything for me? Is it going to be meaningful? But in fact, it really just kind of shifted my mindset. on how I approach people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? With a simple smile, if I walk up to you with an attitude or just a straight face, are you even going to want to engage with me?
That's versus RBF.
Exactly. You know, but if with a smile, hey, how are you doing? That's more welcoming. That's more approachable. So I always say,
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to read that book now.
Yeah. No. It's very accessible. It's on Amazon. It's no more than like $20, I want to say.
I actually am reading right now How to Win and Influence Friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There mic drop. There you go. Book drop.
Bring your closer to you.
Closer. Can you hear me now? Perfect. So that book, I'm in a section right now where it says about mistakes, and it gives an example of like in a workplace, right? So if someone makes a mistake, like we're humans, right? We're gonna make mistakes,
of course.
But what we can do is learn from those mistakes, and change those mistakes, right? And so it's just being able to, how do you talk through it? How do you approach a mistake? And being open to talking about it, because if you don't talk about the mistake, then you're going to have this mental awareness like, oh, I can't talk about my mistake, so I'm gonna like not say anything. And then by you keeping that in, you're not gonna be able to fully express who you are in general. Like if you mess up, I don't have the space that I can say, hey, I messed up, but this is how I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to elaborate on it, but first, the book is called Your Well-Being Blueprint. Feeling good and doing well at work.
Hey,
Your well-being
blueprint.
Feeling good and doing well at work.
That's awesome. I love that.
No, it's an incredible book, and it's helped me ever since I've been reading it the last few weeks. And it's kind of what I want to talk about. I mean, you notice I've been like extremely on this high frequency over the last couple of days. Even like this morning, I texted you first and was like, hey, let's go. Right? Only because, and I'm going to tell you why. It's had to do with what I was reading, that quote from last week when Janet was here, about certain people, they go through life and they want the accolades, the awards and all this stuff, right?
Right. But
in this book, and that's where I got that quote from, in this book, it tells you that other people focus on their goals,
right,
and what they're focused on in life, right, and that's what gives them their own accolades and awards, right. So for me, last week, because we had a challenging week last week, right? I'm talking to you, Rena. We had a very challenging week last week with the gala, right?
Gala.
But and it's no secret. I mean, anytime you put on a big event like that, you're going to have mishaps. You're going to have challenges, right?
It's performance week. That's what I call it.
It's performance week. No, right. Yeah. Like in the beginning, because we was preparing for this months ago, right? But yeah, the last week, it's like
always, game time.
It's game time for real. Like everything tightens up. Like it's like, let's go. And that's where you get all the challenges and the obstacles you got to go through. So it was a week ago today, right? And I was able to all week I was able to reflect on just me and what I did. Like I hosted the event, right? And you hosted it with me. But I had to look at, okay, I never hosted that type of event before.
Right.
I did it, so I gave myself grace. I said, you know what? I did it. I was proud of myself, even though I felt like I made a lot of mistakes, but no one else noticed it, right? Now I've talked to a lot of people.
Yeah,
I've talked to several people, and it was like, oh, I did not notice. Even my girlfriend, she told me, she was like, when I was pausing, she was like, oh, I thought you did those pauses intentionally. I was like, no.
Unintentionally or unintentionally?
Unintentionally. And I was losing my train of thought when I was talking, so I paused. But, she was like, oh, but you did it so flawlessly.
Yes, you did. Like, it seems very natural.
It was good. Yeah, I think
so
you guys did really good.
I had to, look at those things. And so even, other things that went wrong at the event, when people was coming up to me saying, hey, this didn't happen. What are you going to do about it? Blah, blah, blah. Like, everybody, a few people came up to me and they was, panicking.
Right.
Me, I don't panic. I'm like, okay, cool. Relax. First of all, relax.
Right.
Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow. So over the last couple of days, I had to think about all that stuff. And I said, you know what? I looked at myself, because it's always me, you versus you, right?
Right.
So today, I looked at myself and I said, okay, if I was this person 3 years ago, I probably would have made all kind of other mistakes. But I looked at myself and said, you know what? I can see the growth and how much I've grown.
Right.
And I was like, I'm proud of myself. I did an amazing job.
Yeah, you did. I thought you guys did phenomenal.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like that energy.
Yeah,
but not even with the hosting, but just everything that I had to go through that week. Like, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, I didn't focus on what other people was doing, what they didn't do, because I can't control people.
Right.
Can't control what happened yesterday. So they did whatever they did. I can't control that. Only thing I can control and look at is how I performed.
Right.
And all week I looked at how I performed during that whole week. And I was like, wow, you know what? I actually did a great job. I'm proud of myself because I did way better than myself 3-5 years ago.
Growth. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I was saying about like you just said, I was looking at my mistakes or whatever. Okay, look at them and then work on them and make them better.
Right.
You know, and also just so I can, when you did your pauses, it's good because when you're constantly talking, and there's no pause in between, people can't catch up.
Right.
We're talking about that mental awareness, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you have to take that time to just pause for a second. People reassess, what are you even saying? Because there was so much energy in that room.
Yeah, there was.
So it's kind of like everyone, it's like all this energy, and here we are on this mic talking, and everyone's like trying to concentrate on what is everything going on. Those pauses were great.
Even like when I was like talking, then I looked at you and I was like, right?
Yes,
like that was just myself. That was just myself gathering my thoughts. Cause I was like, oh shit, I lost my train of thought. So I would look at her and be like, right? But that was just me trying to get my thoughts together and go on to the next thing.
You did great, Mike.
But Marcia said I did that so flawlessly.
Yeah.
Like she was like, oh, I didn't even know you did that. Like,
yeah, I didn't either. I thought you guys did phenomenal. And by the way, the performance was beautiful.
Thank you.
It was great. Yeah,
Thanks.
I think you guys did amazing. And I like how there was a lot of I would say your cast that was in character and stayed in character, and I felt that.
Oh, good.
So
I'm glad.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Mad
that.
props.
I put a lot of work into what I do. I
Yeah.
really do. And I oh my God, this is contagious. I was going to say something and I forgot right now. I was going to say about performance wise.
It's Friday. It's Friday. Yes. It's okay.
What was the last thing that you said?
Oh, but the pauses that I said when I looked at you and I said, right?
Yes. Oh, this is what we're going to say. And I always tell this to my actors and my dancers. They don't know your performance.
All right. Yeah.
They don't know it,
yeah.
right? And so you are the only one that knows it. Maybe you or like whoever your team is. So in this case, it was you and I. Mm-hmm. I knew what was going on, but no one else knows.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you just keep going, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're doing everything intentionally with a good heart, everything will come out well.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? And you did great.
No, and having a co-host with you there, I mean, and you picked up on things which you made it look flawless. Like it was just such a connection, and that's why I actually love the part that because you and I practiced a couple of times before that, so we was kind of in tune with each other. So you knew where, like you picked me up, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. I appreciate you.
Yeah. No, you know how to own it. You know how to control a room, by the way. Your presence. Yeah. No, you do. And I actually definitely admire that about you. Even when I've done your heel classes, the few times that I have gone, and I mean, this is personal, I probably go in there probably just so broken. And not in a bad way, but, I do have a lot on my plate. Yeah. And when I do step into that, I look forward to you. I look forward to just your presence, your energy, and how you carry yourself. Mm-hmm. And I love that about you, just so you know. I mean, I'm a housewife, a mom. And the fact that you walk in there, I was like, that's fucking right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I leave there feeling so empowered. I walk in the room, in my house, like, what now? You know what I mean? Like, my daughter's like, Mom, what did you learn? And this will always stay with her. The one we did with the boyfriend. Right?
The jacket.
The jacket. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, at the end, I was like, boyfriend, and then she goes, okay, Mom, but that always stayed with me, and as women, we don't give ourselves enough credit, enough grace. We want to look at the other woman and be like, why don't I look like that, instead of embracing what I look like. And when I walk into that studio, I know that I'm not going to be critiqued. I'm not going to be compared, and I'm not going to feel like any less. In fact, I really feel comfortable in my skin. I own my flaws, and I am who I am. And thank you for that. So, but you do that for us. You do that for women. Yeah. You know, like, and I love that. So just seeing you at the gala and just, you know, in your beautiful green gown, like you just own it. And I love that about you, Raina. So by the way,
thank you so much. Honestly, that is like the best gift I could have received today. Yeah. Honestly, I have made it a mission in my life to empower women. And I know a lot of people say, oh, empowering women. No, like I've literally built it to myself. And I'm going to go back to my roots for a second. I had, bless her heart, a biological mother that didn't know how to be a mother and didn't know how to empower her own daughter. So as a young kid, I kind of try to reach out to other women who would try to, as I was self-discovering myself, how to like empower, right? The issue with that is that women sometimes can be a little bit catty. It's the honest truth. And growing in a performance world, it can be a little bit twice as much, right? Yeah. Because, oh, you know, the looks here, she's not going to be. So my dad put me in acting at a very young age. And acting is tough. Yeah. It's built for the thick skin for sure. And I remember going into an audition room, and they would line us up on the side. They would give us skits, and then from there you have to read it. And then there was a panel in front of us, and we have to. They choose who you're going to be partnered up with. I got partnered up with, and I vividly remember this. I was partnered up with a lady, and she was so nervous she ended up throwing up. And so with that said is that we're in a line and they come up to us and they tell us, okay, you. And then it's like, you question yourself, like, am I not good enough? Yeah. So then all this mental things start going on, because I will say that your mental is the most powerful thing you have on you. It really is. And so as I started growing up, I wanted to always empower women because I didn't find that one person. So I was like, okay, I don't have to find somebody. I can make it on my own, and I can empower other people the way that that you should be empowered at all times. Yeah. So I've created this space where there's no judgment. You can go in there and feel free. As women, we tend to want to give out to others, and sometimes we forget. We're always doing this, we're always doing that, we're always thinking this, you know, and we forget about each other. As a mother, you're thinking about your kids constantly. Oh, yeah. I'm not a mom yet, but I have had a lot of moms around me, and I see it. I mean, I'm a dog mom. Does that count? I don't know. Yeah, no, it does. And then as a wife, right? Yeah. As a wife, you're constantly thinking about your partner. Always. Oh, yeah. And like, the thing is about, you're not just thinking about your feelings, you're thinking about the other person's feelings, and you're thinking about your kids' feelings, and you're thinking about, you know, all these other things. And I'm not saying that men don't have that as well, but as women, I think we overthink a lot of things, and we don't, sometimes we could be very, very self-critical, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Am I hitting some points here?
You know, it's funny because in that class, there was a part, and I will never forget this, when we started discussing optimism and pessimism. Oh, girl. I called my husband crying, and I said, I'm so sorry for being so pessimistic. You know what I mean? I really had to sit back and be like, oh, shit, that really is me.
Yeah. Because we're always overthinking, right?
Oh, my God.
People always overthink.
That's true. Everyone does.
Everyone, yeah.
So that's why in that moment, that 1 hour, I've created it that you can just come in and be free and be able to connect with your own feminine energy. Yeah. That one space. And something that also I have been reading is that as a leader, and I have acknowledged it, I am a leader. And people are looking at me.
You are a leader.
And thank you. I've had to accept it. Like, I've had to really go through it, because I did not think as myself as a leader, honestly, truthful moment, until like recently. because I'm so passionate about what I do, but I didn't start actually really truly thinking about it. And I have women coming up to me all the time and just, thank you, Rena, thank you for empowering us. And I'm like, okay, so women are looking at me, and women are not necessarily thinking, oh, I wish I could be here. No, it's just empowering, how I empower them, how I give them that confidence. Yeah. And if you're looking at me, and like you said at the gala, I own that floor for all the women that felt that they're not good enough.
Yeah.
I own that floor. If you notice, when I was walking around, I was walking each step with an intention that you can do it. Are you crying?
No.
Okay.
You need a tissue?
No, that you can walk, and like you can literally, you can do it. Whatever struggle you're going through, I swear I walked that floor like an intention for every little thing that was going on. I really did.
But you know what? Because leadership, right?
Yeah.
And I actually had this conversation with Angelo, my friend Angelo. You guys know Angelo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Last night. And what it is when people say, "Oh yeah, you're a leader," right? And then we be like, "Oh, am I a leader?" But we think of it. We think of all the what is the oh my God, this went blank. What leadership comes with?
Yes.
All the obligations and all that, right? But Angelo was telling me last night. He was like, "Mike, just be you. Yeah. Continue to be you." Like you are a leader, right? But if you take out all the obligations, what society says a leader is, and just be you, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because you're already leading.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's success, leadership, skills, whatever is different.
Yes.
You have yours. Mm-hmm. Don't overthink it. Don't think about what society says a leader is. Mm-hmm. You are a leader in your own way.
Yes.
And you're doing an amazing job. Just keep it simple that way.
Yeah.
Don't try to be this leader like Elon Musk, where you got to be like this top guy. Like be Rena leader.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. And I've noticed something, that if you're passionate, just passionate about something, one thing, start with one thing and then grow from that one thing, right? Yeah. So for me, I have dedicated my entire essence to dance. Because dance, and I feel like a broken record player, but dance is a therapeutic outlet, physically, mentally, and emotionally, right? They say that music connects the world, right? It does, because 100%. Music connects the world, right? But dance is therapy for the world.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
So, and I've dedicated my entire life to it, and I think that because I'm so passionate about it, and people pick up on that's, I'm learning to become a leader. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I admit my mistakes. I'm along the way. But if I'm passionate and I can give that passion to another woman or man, then I've done something good, and I'm proud of being able to help someone, whether it be physically, mentally, and emotionally.
You know what you're helping a lot of those women is you're teaching them the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Yep. And I just read this. This is funny because I just read that this morning in this book. It's about a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Like, for instance, you know how last week I was telling you how nervous I am?
Yes.
Like, I was nervous. And that's because for the past 3 years, like for the last 9 months, I've been doing this podcast, right? But 3 years prior to that, I was doing COVID and all that. I literally was talking to 100, 200 people every week on Zoom. Like I was doing Zoom talks, right? And I'm comfortable with being on a computer doing, because I felt like it was one-on-one, because I could focus on one person's screen, whatever. And it was easy. But getting in front of people and just like everybody's looking at me was a challenge for me. Even though in my career, I used to be on stage, with Hip Hop Harry doing, opening the show for him. But that was entertainment, music, fun, dancing. Like, that's fun for me. That was my element. Standing there and just giving like a speech and everybody's just all eyes on me.
Yeah.
To me, that was a challenge. But I learned this morning that was a confirmation for me that I have a growth mindset. Correct. Because I did it. People that say, "Oh, I can't do something," right? That's a fixed mindset. If you at least try, and I'm not saying you got to be perfect at it, but you at least tried, you gave it an effort, you gave it your all. That's a growth mindset.
Right.
Yes.
So when people always say, and that's why I did it. I knew I was going to be nervous. I knew I was going to mess up, but I said, you know what? I'm going to do it because it's something I want to get better at. Yeah. And I really do. I want to be able to go out there and do, motivational speaking. And I know it's going to take time for me to get better at it, but that's just my growth mindset. Like, I'm still going to do it.
Yeah. That's awesome. And that's the way to be. Actually, in my classes, I always say, if you can't do it, that's fine. At least try to do it and then keep coming, and so you can accomplish. Yeah, it starts with one little goal, right? And then you keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And I always say, if you can't do it, then come to me, honey, because I'll hold your hand and I'll help you with that. Right. I always say that. Yeah. I always say that in my class, and it gets a kick out. But you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just like starting with one thing and changing that perception. If you always say, I can't do that, 100% you're not going to be able to do it. Because you keep saying it. You are manifesting the words that you project. If you say, I can't do it, you're not going to do it. If you say, if you say, oh, I'm a crappy person every day, you're going to start thinking in yourself that you're a crappy person. Right.
That's what you're going to be.
You know what I taught Raina a couple of weeks ago? I called you Raina.
Okay.
You know what I taught her? What did I when I was at your studio a few weeks ago?
Oh,
about your sign.
Yes. So, yes.
I got that from Diana.
Did you?
Yeah.
So I have a sign it's just, talking about like transactions fees or whatever, but it says, thank you for supporting small businesses. And Mike was like, take that off. You're not a small business.
No, you're a thriving business.
Yes. And so I was like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah. A couple of days later, she called me. She's like, Mike, you know what? You're all right. I am not a small business.
No,
and she's not.
Keep yourself at that, at that level.
Yes.
Yeah, it's mindset.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's because you're right. It is mindset, because I've been involved in a lot of like small businesses and everything. And so it's just brought me to that frequency, right? Mm-hmm. And so as soon as you said that, I swear, like my doors started opening, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not a small business. No, I really am not. I offer so much to this community. Mm-hmm. I really do. And I started thinking about it. I go above and beyond to give out as much as I can to this community. Yeah. Now, whether you want to take it or not, that's up to you.
That's up to you.
But I know that what I am providing for this community is beautiful, and it's therapeutic, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Oh, yeah. Now, if you want to come onto this journey with me, by all means, I'm going to help you in whatever needs to be done. And if not, that's okay. You can admire from afar. But I will tell you, the first thing is just taking that step and walking through the doors. I promise you, I will change your life somehow.
Yeah.
And see, and that goes in line. Somehow. That goes in line with. And by the way, congratulations to our new director at the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. But that goes along with what Janet was saying last week about leading by example. Like Janet said, I'm operating on this higher level. You got to meet me up here. I'm not going to come down to your level.
Yeah, you can't.
Yes.
You got to meet me up here.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you.
You're right. Yeah.
I'll wait for you. But at some point, you got to meet me up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
so I love what you just
people know
said.
where to find you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you said, they have to walk in. And even for myself, at times it's like, and it's funny because now, unfortunately, my daughter has, a Civil Air Patrol class on Tuesdays. However, that's still not an excuse, but it just throws a lot in. And my alarm still goes off and it says heels class. And I look at it and I'm like, fuck, dude, I really should get to it. And every Tuesday, and I still haven't, my alarms. Mm-hmm. And I think to myself, and you're right, people know where to find you, and that really is a jolt of joy. And sometimes when we're feeling that blah, and I think that I know to run to you, just so you know, and it's so true, because that is, a way to pull you out of that funk, that depression, what it is, because dancing is so liberating.
It really is.
I mean, when we were younger, we partied a lot. We clubbed a lot. I literally would party like Monday through Friday because my husband worked at a club. And then I used to think to myself, why wasn't I ever like depressed or sad or, why? Because during those hours, nothing mattered.
Yes.
And when I would dance with my girlfriend, and it's like, we used to laugh and be like, I just want to dance. And it was so liberating. And I felt so good. Yes. You know, so I think when I step into those doors and the music, I just put myself back into that and I just let go. And I think that's why I'm so playful, like when I leave there, because it brings me back to that. So
just try it one time in your life. Yeah. Honestly, just try it one time.
Yeah.
In my darkest of darkest moments, dance has taken me out.
Yeah.
I lost my mom and dad. I don't have a mom and dad. You know, I mean, obviously I have a mom and dad, but they are gone. They passed away. When my mom passed away, it was rough. I was a mess. Seeing my dad at home, being there with him, it was rough. It really was rough.
Yeah.
But dance always took me out of there. I would go into the studio, I would like lock myself in there and just dance and cry and dance and just be able to like liberate myself, you know? Same thing when my dad passed away. He just passed out in July. And I went in there by myself. At this time I had my own studio. But back then when my mom passed away, I didn't have. So I would like literally rent the floor and just dance in there. And people think you're renting a floor, you're wasting money on renting a floor. And it's not wasting money if it's helping me.
Yeah, it's healing.
Yeah. So it's healing. And I think, here's another thing. I think that people are afraid to heal wounds because it uprises things. Yeah. It brings them back to that one moment, right? But the thing is, for us to progress in life, you have to be able to be open to heal things in your life, because
you
if
have
you
to
don't
acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge it. People don't acknowledge their pains, and they hide it, and they put it in the back burner, and they don't acknowledge it. But you have to. You have to acknowledge it.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, and that is what dance does. You start dancing, you start acknowledging, you start thinking of things. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes, you start thinking of things, right? And it starts coming up. You may not have it on the first time, like, okay, you know what? Let me bring that back down, right?
Yeah. Right.
But if you keep coming, it's going to release. It's going to release. I always tell my dancers, you're going to have 3 things on this floor: blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
That's the truth. You have to be open to change. You have to be open to accepting things and healing, and if it's a mistake, fixing those things.
Yeah.
That is how, as human beings, we're going to be able to help each other, right? Mm-hmm. I have gone through a lot of trauma in my life as a child, you know, but because I've gone through those things, I'm able to help other women and reach out to them and help them through what I know best. And, you know, I'm helping people.
But vulnerability is strength.
Yes.
And the fact that you're willing to talk about it, it's not very easy. And it's funny, I think I'm just like, you have me like just in all right now, like just tripping, because, you know, I mean, we've had very personal conversations with Mike where I'm just like, I don't like going to a lot of social events anymore. And I think I kind of briefly said it, you know, before, and because I don't feel that I fit in. And it's not because of that. It's because I've selectively have withdrawn, you know, pulled myself. And as I'm listening to you, I was like, shit, we have so much in common. Like, our stories align so much, you know. And when you're like, oh, are you crying now? Yeah, I think I did, because I felt it. I was like, oh my God. Like, where I was like, what does she know of what I'm going through? And I think as women, we do that a lot.
Yeah. At the end of each of my class, I always say, I give a little speech at the end, you've been there.
Yeah.
I say, empower each other, because we're sisters. Yeah. We all came from one person. At the end of the day, there was one woman on this earth that started all of the Women's League, right? Yeah. Support each other. We're all sisters at the end of the day. Yeah. Don't do things to others that you don't want done to yourself.
Yeah.
Really. Like, and support each other. That's the truth. Yeah. Because we don't know each other's struggles. But I guarantee if you sit down 1 minute and just talk to each other, I guarantee you have more connection to one another than what you think. Instead of bashing each other, actually take a moment, reassess, because that person could be going through things that you don't know, and that you can help along the way. Because if you help, it's a ripple effect. You help that person person helps another. And then it just becomes this whole thing where it's a community helping each other instead of putting everyone down.
Yeah, no, I was just at a women's event on Wednesday. It's called Unbreakable through the Ventura Foundation. Thank you, Vicky, for always doing these things as well. And just hearing these women talk. There was one person in particular where I was listening to her story, and I was just like, oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about. But again, as women, sometimes we look at each other and be like, what would they know?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, they've never been through the things that I have been. And we're very, very good of just standing there with a smile, right? And just putting up a front. I think we're good about that. But being able to be vulnerable to each other and really like say, I'm really going through some shit right now.
And it's scary.
It's the scariest thing.
Fear. People are scared of that, right?
Oh, yeah.
But if you just take a moment to reassess and not jump to judge and just actually take a step back and really think, okay, this person is probably going through this because of, whatever reason. And if they want to open up to me, I'm here with an open heart and ear to actually listen to it and not jump into a judgment real quick. Right? You have to be open to change. You have to be open to receive. That way that we can lead our future generations.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I don't have a daughter yet, but let me tell you, that little girl is gonna, or if I'm blessed with a little girl, she's gonna understand that we have to empower women. Like, it's so important. It's so important to be able to, I cannot stress enough. And I really, really, really try to emphasize that in whatever power I have as a person. And that power I know is that dance, and everyone's like, she's a dancer. It's funny because whenever I go to these conferences or meetings, because I do try to stay really active in the community, you're like, oh, you're that dance girl. Yeah, I'm that dance girl. I mean, there's obviously more to me, right? But if you are recognizing me as that dance girl, I'll take it. And let's chat. That I'm not just a dance girl, but I will take that, and you will know that if I'm known as dance, I'm okay with that, and that dance like takes you into like a therapeutic outlet. And if I'm helping somebody, I'm great with that.
I mean, to me, I see you. It's like you're that owner of the studio.
Thanks.
You are a business owner. That's how I see you. Thanks. It's like, no, she owns that studio, and she's a dancer. She teaches classes too. She's not, just the person that opens and closes the door. Oh no,
But everybody grows differently. Right. And I think we get caught up in because we know a lot of people out here, and we get caught up with people. We do. Everybody judges people, right? We want people to see what we see.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that's just not reality.
Yeah. Right.
As much as we want to help everybody and we want people to grow and kind of like have the mindset we do, it's not going to happen. They're going to do it on their own time. And I'm guilty of this as well. I get frustrated and I get like, oh my God, why you just can't see it from my point of view, and just but you got to let people grow at their own pace. At some point, they will get it.
Yeah.
Like, I just turned 52 a few weeks ago, right? And I can honestly say, thank you. I can honestly say I literally just started understanding all this stuff a few years ago. It took me a long time. I used to think I knew it all, and once I started my mindset training, I realized I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
But look at the path I'm on. And that's why earlier when I was saying, I'm looking at myself 3-5 years ago, and I'm looking at myself now, but like, oh, wow, look how much I've grown in this last few years. And it's never too late. Doesn't matter how old you are. So people will change. They got to do it on their own time, and they will. And
that change is state of mind too.
It is.
It's state of mind. I'll tell you a little bit. So I lived in New York for a year and a half, and I was out there working with Max and Val from Dancing with the Stars, they have a studio out there. So I went out there. I was an instructor, a choreographer. I was able to be on Broadway with them. I was able to choreograph for the show. So when you're on the show, when the cameras are not on, right, there has to be entertainment continuously going for the audience.
Right.
So I was able to do that with them. My point to this is that New York is literally called the concrete jungle for a reason. Yeah. Like, you got to have some thick skin out there. So I arrived in a group of people that were trained at the age of birth. They were a lot of Europeans, right? And so in Europe, you start the ballroom. So I'm specifically like the ballroom world, right? Where you do a lot of partner dancing. And they, from infancy, like there's this thing where Russians, like they literally have at a young age, make the girls do the splits. Like they're very adamant about their dance training. Like it is a like huge sport. So I'm going in there, right? Or I didn't start my ballroom dancing till probably like at the age of like 16. That is late in the game. Yeah. Super late. Over there, they're starting like at 4. I started at 4, but I started with ballet, jazz, all of that, right? But over there, it's so adamant. And so I'm going in there where these just real professionals, not that I'm not a professional, but like the mindset's different,
another
right?
level.
It's a whole different other level.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going in there, you know, and they're just so, when it comes to, when they say, okay, it's rehearsal time, room, it's rehearsal time. And I felt like the underdog. Swear to you, I felt like an underdog. And a lot of them were like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I'm like, well, I was chosen to, obviously, I got chosen to go out there for a reason. I must have a talent that's why they brought me over there. Because it's selective. They reach out to you, right?
Oh, yeah.
My mentor over there had found me on Facebook and Instagram, saw what talent I had, and they brought me over there from a little town from the AV. Like AV is a small town, guys.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And so for them to selectively choose me, I had to constantly remind myself that I was there for a reason.
Yeah. Because
all these people, it was so, for lack of a better word, overwhelming, right? So my point to this is like, I kept being put down in a way, and it was a mental state of mind because of how everything was run, right? And it started putting me down a little bit, and I was like, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here, right? But I had to remind myself, I had to like dig deep and remind myself, I'm here for a reason, right? And slowly but surely, and I always say this to my dancers, practice will always outbeat talent. Keep going on your path. Keep practicing your path. And I promise you, you will rise above. Tell me why. A lot of them were so comfortable because they had so just natural talent, right? And I was like, no, I have to keep practicing. I have to keep practicing at what I'm doing. So they chose me to do this Broadway number. And I was standing next to like this tall, blonde Russian, 6 feet. I'm 4'11", guys.
Yeah.
Right? So 6 feet compared to 4'11". And I'm like, Lord, help me. Right? And I'm a thick girl.
Okay.
I got
you know
curves.
What I'm saying?
This Russian, she looked like a model. And so my mindset started thinking, oh my God, I'm dancing next to a model, tall, Russian, right? Like in a dance world, right? I'm thinking ballet, right? And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this, right? So every night, I would practice till about 1 a.m. because I had the key to the studio. I would go in there and practice and practice and practice and practice. And I kid you not, when I was on that stage next to that girl, I killed it. I killed it. And everyone came up to me and like, oh my God, you did so great. My point to this is that you have to be confident in whatever you do. And you may not be confident at first and you might feel like an underdog. But I don't know if you guys are believers in God or not, but God put you on this earth for a purpose.
That's right.
And you have to remind yourself, sometimes what you said, you had to you selectively removed from yourself, right?
Right.
You have to trust that you are on on a journey and you have a purpose, and you have to be able to take that mindset and change it, and that you can walk into it and be able to do what you're doing. And you have to, if you got to dig deep, dig deep.
Yeah.
But you're going to be there for a purpose. Yeah. And you got to remind yourself every day. You are the only person that's going to tell you, hey, you're doing it. You got to keep going. No one else is going to tell you. We come onto this earth alone, and you're going to leave on this world alone. Like, it's truth. So you got to remind yourself every day that you're there for a purpose.
Well, God gave everybody a gift at birth.
Absolutely.
He instilled a gift in
everybody.
one of us. It's our choice to go pursue that gift and find it and use it to our ability. Like, that's the goal in life.
Yeah.
Is to really go after go all in our gift and be the best versions of ourselves that we can. That's the goal.
Yep.
Mine has always been communication, talking.
Well, you're great at this.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Yes,
I will give myself that.
And and this is why, and this is why I keep telling you to go to these events, because you know why? By you being on this show and you going to the event, people are getting to know the real you. They've judged you from the past, but they don't know the real you.
Yeah, no.
And now they're hearing you talk. They're hearing you at these events, and you're showing them the real you.
Yeah, because it's a trip, as you say. I mean, when I moved away from here, I really kind of raised myself. I was joking. I was like, I kind of, visit my husband one day and I never left. But in reality, I was only 20, and I've been on my own. It's just been me and him. And then, at 22, I got pregnant with my son and living in Los Angeles. I mean, it's the Wild Wild West as well,
yes, it is.
And you have to keep up with the Joneses and still try to live a life and, try to hold on to your youth as much as you can while raising a child. I really had to give myself that credit, because not a lot of people can say that they've done that, know, and even the success with my marriage. I mean, we're going to be happily married for 17 years this coming October, and we were having breakfast this morning. We usually try to do that every Friday.
That's nice.
And we're huge sports fanatics, and Paul Gasol just got his jersey retired. Okay.
That was amazing. That whole thing was amazing.
And of course we're big Kobe, fans, but we were talking about, Vanessa and the fact that she looked stunning, what a beautiful woman, what a beautiful soul. And the fact that her relationship with Kobe, it's like, how do you ever, find love again? And, we really kind of took that in. And I even told him, like, if I were to ever die, you have to find someone. And he goes, no, I'm telling you the same thing. And it's funny because as we walked out of the car, we just hugged each other. It's so weird because we're at home, but we just couldn't wait to do it. But it's dope how you're able to do that. And Mike used to tell me, you have so much to give. You have so much to say. But it's hard sometimes too.
It is.
Embrace that.
Yeah. And that's why I love what I do, because I hear stories of women all the time. And literally,
it's Women's Month. I'm crying.
It's okay, good. Happy International Women's
this is
Month.
What we do.
Please shout out to all the hardworking women of the world. I in my studio have a couch, and I literally sit down and hear stories of women all the time. And that's why I love what I do, because dance brings out confidence.
Oh yeah.
In whatever struggle or whatever thing you're going through, dance will give that to you, and it makes you boost up a little bit. And
it sure does.
If it can bring you a little confidence in your life, whatever it can, good. Keep doing it.
No, it does. That's why I always have to say, like, I've experienced so much in life. I've done so much in life. I've fallen, and I honestly can say I pick myself up.
Good.
I've dust myself off, and I laugh sometimes because when I do your classes, there's sometimes I'm like, how the am I supposed to hop with all this weight? And then I sit there and I tell myself you got this shit, bitch. Like, that's my favorite word.
Right. Oh my gosh.
And I tell myself that, and I was like, get this shit, bitch. Like, you got this shit, bitch, the whole time. You're in my head.
Yes. And you know how many times, so as a dancer, you gotta stay physically fit. You really do. Because when I teach these classes,
it is no joke. You're like, down, back up, down. Right. I'm like, girl.
So when I'm running on a treadmill, because God, I gotta get my cardio aside from the studio, right?
Yeah,
I gotta maintain my cardio. It's funny what you just said, because literally I'll be running and I'm like, all right, come on, bitch, you got this. Okay. Let's go. Like, it's just, I gotta motivate myself.
Yeah.
Come on, you can't let yourself down. Come on, let's go. Yep. And if that's what you gotta tell yourself, keep going. Yeah. Tell yourself that.
And then I just sit there and laugh because I'm like, that's right, bitch. But then I have to call myself a bitch to get motivated.
I mean,
it's in a loving way. It's in a loving way.
However you motivate yourself.
But so we've been doing this. I want to say we're on our 24th episode.
What?
So yeah, because like last week
24 Kobe.
Last week I told her that hey, we about to end season 2, going to season 3.
Wow.
She was like, "Oh my God, I did a full season." Yes, and you was amazing through this whole thing. And I
congratulations.
Oh yeah, I mean you got to look at the first time. You got to go watch your shows. Mm-hmm. Watch these shows. Yeah, start from like 1 or 2 and look at where you are now. I can see that growth. I'm excited for season 3, like, because we talked about this. Oh, we've been talking about this the last couple of days. Like, I'm so excited because of the value she added. And like season 3, you guys, we about to level up for real. Hey. Like, we got a lot of stuff going on.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was all because of her. She brought all this to fruition. Like, you did.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I'm appreciative of it.
Aw.
You know what? I feel like we don't tell each other we appreciate you enough. Yeah. I'm actually practicing this a lot because sometimes life is so quick, right? We're always hustling or we're always doing something. Like really think about it. How many times do you tell whoever you're around, I appreciate you? Yeah. Just those 3 simple words. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's life changing. It really is.
It really is.
I learned that 2 years ago. I actually do it often.
Good.
I do that especially like when I tell her every day.
Yeah.
Like just out of habit. I've learned that 2 years ago. Yeah.
And I think we all should make that a habit because just those 3 little words really is like, it brings value into your life, right? Yeah, and I've been practicing this a lot and telling people, hey, I appreciate you. I hope you know that. Because those simple 3 words, you feel gratitude.
Yeah.
You feel like, okay, I'm okay. It's like a warm hug. I'm okay. Yeah. I appreciate you.
Yeah, well, it also opens up empathy as well, for the other person, to be heard, be seen.
Yes.
And it's not said enough to each other, so I try to do that as much as I can. I'm for the most part, I'm pretty positive.
No, I mean, and you're right. I actually just had this conversation with Marcy the other night. Me and her was, we did what you and Brian do a lot. We sat in the car for like 4 hours.
Oh my
just
God.
Talking.
Yeah.
In front of
4
our house.
hours?
In front of our house. Just
yeah.
No.
Have you ever tried it?
No. When I tell you, no, Raina.
No, check this out. It's a trip.
It's a trip. Just go park in front of your house and just sit in the car and just have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, it's so healing. Mm-hmm. Like, I've done this before with other people too. I don't know what it is about a car, like sitting in a car.
And it's not something that you're like, okay, on Tuesday at 8, we're going to sit here and talk, because it's already going to be just dreading, like when it happens, it's like,
it just happens.
It just happens. But the fact that, and I know you're married, with the person that you share so much with, I mean, your deepest, your darkest, your best times, your worst, everything in between. And when you're literally sitting there and just connecting, it's on another level. You know what I mean? Because for that moment, you're present. And I always tell people that too, when they're kind of struggling with their spouse or, or a significant other. I tell them, what was it that caught your eye? What was that it factor? And even with your husband, really reflect on that moment where you, for the first time, he didn't exist in your life. There's a point in your life that he didn't exist.
Yeah.
He was his own person. But that one person, that one time, that moment, he crossed your pathway and you're like, who the is that? Remember that moment, you know, and it's just, it brings you to so many things, you know, and I tell my husband that, and I always look back. We met during medical school or medical assistant class. I remember he walked in, I was like, who is that? You know what I'm saying? And I always look back and it just gives me butterflies, but it keeps me grounded with him and I, and just going back through all the things that we've been through, you know?
And that's key, because a lot of relationships fail because, just like how she said, when you met your spouse or your significant other, that energy you put into getting that relationship, a lot of people don't keep that same energy when things go bad. And that's one of the things that Marcia and I keep talking about. And when I first started talking to her, like I've known her for almost 3 years now, but we really just started dating 3 months ago, I think, something like that. But anyways, I told her in the beginning, like, effort is important to me. Like this effort that we're doing right now, I want to see this 2 years from now, 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we actually like sitting in the car talking.
So sorry to cut you. What is effort for you?
Intent.
Okay, what is intent? Like, give me an example. I want, this is good to know.
Okay. Effort to me, for example, and I keep referring to this video. It's this video that I put it on my IG like months ago. This one girl was talking about, I don't care how tired you are, if you worked a 14-hour shift or whatever. If I want to be with the person that night, that's who I'm going to be with. If you ain't the person that is saying good night to me at the end of the night, I'm not. That's because you don't want to. Like this is effort. Like for me, I don't care. Like she said, I don't care if I work a 14-hour shift. If I'm dead ass tired, I'm gonna go home, take a shower, and I'm gonna be where I want to be. And this is a prime example. Wednesday night, right? So I didn't see Marcy Tuesday, right? And I barely saw her Monday. Tuesday, I was a little emotional about something, right?
Okay.
And she was tired because she works long shifts and she works in Valencia, and she got home and she went to sleep, and I didn't hear from her, and I talked to her. I mean, we texted a little bit throughout the day, right? But Wednesday, all day Wednesday, like I worked, she worked. So I was still kind of going through something, and I literally, it was like 8:30 at night. And I was like, wow, I'm not about to go through another day without seeing her or hearing her voice. I didn't call her, didn't give her a head, didn't text her. I literally just drove to her house, parked in front of her house. I said, what you doing? She was like, I just laid down. I knew she was going to go to sleep. She was like, what are you doing? I said, I just pulled up in front of your house. Come outside. She was like, are you serious? And I was like, yes, I'm outside. She came outside. We literally sat out there and talked till 1:30 in the morning. That's actually 6 hours.
Wow.
But it was a great conversation. So that's what I mean by effort.
Right.
I don't care what I'm going through, if I want to be with you, I'm going to get my ass to where I wanted to be. And that's what I told her that night. I said, you know what? I couldn't go another fucking day without seeing you and being next to you. I don't care. Like, I'm going to be there.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And those are the conversations me and her have, and she's on the same page, and she appreciated that.
Absolutely.
She appreciated that.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to the appreciation. I appreciate you. And I think that we don't appreciate enough people. And that is a perfect example of appreciating. Even if it's not verbally said, actions speak louder than words, right? So your actions.
And for me, like, because she works for somebody, right? So for me, my schedule is more flexible.
Right.
But she comes home to a full house, and like, so, she can't come to me all the time. And that's what I told her. I said, you know what? I understand, and she had a migraine that day, and that's why she was about to lay down and just go to sleep. And so that's why I said, I didn't care. I'm going to come to you.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
I don't expect you to come to me. If it's me having to just get my ass up and come to you, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And she did appreciate it. She truly appreciated it.
Yeah. So what was your word? Intent? Or what was the word?
Intent.
Okay.
People's
effort. Yeah. You said effort.
Effort.
Yes, there you go.
Effort. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, even when we first started dating with my husband, he worked at the club, like I was saying. So he would get off at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And he would drive all the way out to Palmdale because I still lived out here.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. And we would do that vice versa for each other. And I think to this day, we still do that for each other. And I still get those butterflies. And I ask people that, you know, like, do you experience that? Like, I mean, with your husband.
Oh, for sure. So I'll tell you where I got my butterflies. And that was recent. Because in a marriage, we get a little, you know,
we do.
Right?
Yeah.
But there was one time where I did get those butterflies recently, actually. It was Valentine's Day. And I had that Galentine's workshop for the girls, right? And so I was like, well, we celebrated, we went out to dinner like the weekend before, right? And I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to do this thing for a Galentine's, babe. Oh, yeah, I understand. Because he understands how I'm such an advocate for women empowerment. And I didn't want the girls to be alone, for those girls that did not have a date or whatnot. Yeah. I wanted them to come enjoy a space.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, I'm huge on women empowerment. And so, you know, a lot of girls came. And at the end of that, girls, oh my gosh. And it was like a dance and margaritas. So I had margaritas for them. It was cute. It was good.
You know?
They were getting a little crazy. Anyways, so they left, right? And so I'm the one who cleans up. You know, it's like you got to maintain the studio. So I was cleaning up, and my husband showed up with flowers and a box of chocolates. He's like, you knew I wasn't going to leave you alone, right? And he helped me stay and clean the studio. And I had some margarita juice left over. I gave him some margaritas, and we were in there cleaning the studio.
Oh.
And we ended up dancing a little bit together. And I was like, okay, I remember why I married you now.
Yeah,
that part.
Yeah, and we were just there dancing and drinking in the studio, cleaning, just having a just fun time. Yeah. And it was just really nice to remember that, you know, I do have a partner that does care. You know, not everyone's going to, like...
Right, because he could have been at home, because he works hard, because I know what he does.
That
he
man
works extremely
so
hard, right. But he chose to be there and help you that night. Effort.
Correct. Yeah, effort. Yeah, so
there it is.
That was my moment where I was like, okay, I remember now. Not that I don't remember, but you know.
But life. Life happens.
Yeah.
Right? And there's so many things that go through our mind. And that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was really nice. It was a moment.
Because sometimes people think that it has to be, you know, like, it has to be a gift or, you know, how much the value. It has nothing to do with that. Sometimes the best things are free, right? Oof. That's what they say.
Yes.
No, they are. 100%.
The best things are free.
It's true. And you know what? Something actually touching on that subject, I highly encourage everyone to figure out their love language. And if you don't know what the love language is, read the book.
Okay. No. I got him up on that game.
Serious about that.
And you know what?
So serious.
That's another part of Marcia and I, like, again, I'm so big on effort, and that's because I was married for 24 years. Like I've always been in long relationships, and when I'm with somebody and I'm committed, like I'm all in, 100% all in. Like I don't play around.
Okay.
So effort is important to me. So me and her were just talking about that. Like, so she just took her love language test. You know, I've obviously took mine, and so mine's is touch, and her first one is touch. My second one is words of affirmation, and so lately. She's been, because I'm always like texting her early in the morning, hey, good morning, we're beautiful, have a great day, blah, blah, blah. She's always texting me at night, you know, sweet dreams, you know, blah, blah, blah. And during the day now, she's texting me like, hey, you're amazing. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. Like she's starting to do that because now she understands my love language.
Yes. And I highly encourage figuring out love language, not just like in your own personal life, but like in anybody, right? I'll give you an example. So I have a team at my studio, right? And I started feeling...
You have an amazing team, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I strive because I want to make a really fun atmosphere where everyone's comfortable and safe and just a great atmosphere. Anyways, so I started feeling a little disconnect with my assistant. And obviously my assistant is my right-hand person. Like she helps me out a lot. I'm a really busy person, believe it or not. Like, and so I started feeling a little disconnect, and I was like, what is happening right now? Is it me? Am I the problem? You know what I mean?
Of course.
And then, and so I actually sat down with my entire staff, which now I have like 2 more people on board, which you got to meet them. Anyways, so I sat down with my staff, and I just started talking about, because I give them sales training and dance training every week. For 1 hour. So 1 hour for sales training and 1 hour for dance training, right? So that's adamant. Every week they get that value from me, right? And so, from the company, I should say. And I had a moment, I was like, guys, I want to understand who you are too. Because I'm reading, again, How to Win and Influence Friends. And part of that section is understanding the people that you're around with, right? And so I sat down and I started talking, and I brought up, I kind of want to know, what is your love language? And so I went around, and my assistant said, my love language is words of affirmation. Ding, 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 ding. I don't give her a lot of words of information because I'm constantly on the go. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I expect her to understand, hey, we're good. Because for me, I'm like, hey, we're good, right? Like, we're good. So, because I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so.
What is your love language, by the way?
Acts of service. Hence, when my husband came and helped me clean. Right? Mine is huge on acts of service because I'm always busy. And if I'm like, damn, I wish I had a coffee, and you just bring me a coffee, holy moly. Like, that was acts of service for me. That I needed that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm huge on acts of service. Anyways, so then back to that, and I started giving her more words of information. Hey, thanks for doing that. Hey, I really appreciate that. Oh my gosh, game changer. She is now gives me more acts of service on what I needed from her. Game changer. Yeah. So I needed to give her reinforcement with words that she was doing good, and it helped her out a lot. And I think that's huge. Everyone should understand what love language, because that's what people need. Yeah. You know,
I used to say that a lot. I used to tell people all the time, no one wakes up being an asshole, right? No. Yeah. But if you take the time, and this is what we don't do. We don't take the time to get to know someone, whether it is their love language or just get to know where they're coming from, because we have to. We can't just judge somebody and say, oh, you're an asshole. Like, if you understand where that comes from, it's a different conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like my husband and I were both quality time. And I think that's why we mesh so well. Yeah. Because we create that for each other.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like we create that space. But it's so important. And not only that, but this coming Wednesday for our leadership group. So we do one for the youth through the Ventura Foundation. And we're actually going to be teaching on character strengths. So that's another one that you might want to look into as far as a team, because you have 24 character strengths. Yeah, you actually have 24 different character strengths. I actually had Mike do it with the other Diana. I can send you the survey. Okay. You can send it out to them. It's completely free. Okay. And the beauty of that is that it shows where you all line up, because you have all 24. For example, my number 1 is love, and my 24 is self-regulation. And it totally lines up with where I stand and how I am. So the great thing about that is that it teaches you how to either not to overutilize or underutilize, and to use it correctly. Because let's say, for example, my character strength is love, but overutilizing it is being promiscuous. You know, loving on other people that maybe you shouldn't be loving, or too much loving on, you know, and that's overutilizing it. Okay. You know, and having safe boundaries to protect myself, not to get hurt, and not to allow myself to overutilize, is knowing how to, you know, creativity, honesty. Some people are too honest, you know, humor. You don't want to make people the butt of your joke. There are comedians, you know what I mean? But even in a group, like you have your team, is knowing their character strengths. Yes. Who's good at this? Who's good at curiosity? Who's good at, you know, creating these things. And then knowing that as a person is also very, very useful. Yeah. So I could definitely share that with you. Yeah. And you learn that in the certification Applied Positive Psychology. That's the great thing about this class, that it kind of gave me these tools that I had no clue, you know, that I did have, that exist and are so simple. One of the exercises was we put a sticker on everyone's back. You didn't know what these people were putting on your back, you know, and a lot of people put like joyful, hopeful, you know, loving, youthful and things like, and I was like, man, these people don't even know me. Like, what are they going to put? But to this day, I actually have that piece of paper with all of those words of affirmation on my mirror, to remind myself that people don't just think poorly of me. People also see the beauty in me, the great things in me, the things that I might not even see in myself. You know, so I think that that's great that you do bring up love language, because I'm so big on that, and I'm very big on character strengths.
Oh yeah, I like them both.
Yeah.
Like my character strength, my number one is spirituality.
Ooh,
that's why I want to talk about
that's another
energy
one,
and all that.
Wow.
It's actually dope.
It is dope. Like when you start
your
reading
mind
it,
to
Very
some,
interested to
pretty dope.
find that out.
Just so you know, I do step in the room and I'm like looking, I wonder what their character strengths are.
Really?
I do that.
From the top of your head, what would you guess for me?
For you, I would say, let's see, what is it? Appreciation of beauty. I think that one would be one.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
I know what that is.
You know, appreciation of beauty, because you see the beauty in other people that they might not see, and you have that. Yeah. Curiosity, that might be another one, because you're also very creative.
Yes.
You know, I can see those strengths. So I'm wondering, now to see what do you think yours would be?
I don't even know this. Like, what are the categories?
Oh, I'm like off the top of my head. I don't know all, because there are 24.
Right.
You know, like I know self-regulation. Oh, I think that would be probably a big one for you, because you know how to regulate yourself and keep yourself like in order, you know, and like with boundaries and things like that. I think that might be a strong one for you, you know, but it's great to be aware of that. And when you're overutilizing, you know, like, yes, I am curious, but then I could be a little like metiche, like asking too much, like, girl, you don't need to know all that. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I learn. Right. I learn from that, because everyone has something to teach. Yeah. Everyone has a story. Everyone's a book to me. You know what I mean? So what is it that you know that I don't know, that I might utilize that later on in life?
Yes.
But some people might be like, that's very intrusive. Like, you're asking too much, but it's not coming from a malicious way. Right. It's not. It's just like, I've never experienced, you know, living in New York, being on Brighton. My mind was already so curious, like, oh my God, that is so. And when you were talking about, Amber Alert, when you were talking about like your family and things like that, that made me be like, what happened? Like, I'm, you know, both of my parents are cancer survivors, and my dad struggles. And I've always said, like, if the day I were to lose my dad, I think I would probably lose it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just hearing that in you, it reassured me, like, it's going to be okay. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? You're going to be okay. But that's really one of my biggest fears. Yeah.
Are you daddy's girl?
I am.
I was too.
Yeah.
I was totally daddy's girl. Yeah. So when my mom passed away and I was in that house with my dad, just depressed, and my dad is old school, right? Yeah. My mom did everything for him. Yeah. So now I came on to this role for my dad, and it was a lot on me when I was self-discovering, trying to figure out what I was going to do and all of that. Yeah. A lot of strength had to come out from that. Yeah.
I had to develop that now it's my turn. At an early age. That's actually, I have a tattoo of an eye, and in the reflection of that eye is my dad hooked onto an IV, because that's my biggest pain. You know what I mean? And it's things like that. So I think that's why I got like so teary-eyed. Yeah. You know, I sit there and my dad tells me stories. Oh yeah. You know, like this, and I feel like a kid again. Mm-hmm. You know, like we sit there and just hear all that, and I think to myself, God, the day I can't do that. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. I recommend. I still have voicemails from my dad. Yeah. I have them saved on my voicemails, and every time I'm feeling down, I listen to my dad talking to me, and that really helps me out a lot.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because it's what we can't hold on to is memories.
Right.
That's something
so true.
And memories help you not forget. Yeah. Like my mom passed away 5 years ago now, and sometimes like in the beginning I was like, how do I, like, it hurts so much, right? Yeah. And now it's kind of eased, right?
Yeah.
The pain will never go away. I'll tell you that. It will never go away. And I'll have my moments still. My husband has to like, you know.
We're human, right?
Yeah. And I started forgetting her presence. Yeah. Like her presence, physically presence. I'm forgetting that. Yeah. But what I'm not forgetting is the memories. Yeah. No, you know what I mean? And so like just hold on to those memories and whatever you cherish those moments.
Yeah, no, I mean my dad's been sick for a very long time. And when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer and it had actually spread to the lymph nodes around her heart where it was very rare and very hard. I thought to myself, like, she's my backbone. She's been my strength my whole life. And that she's down, like, what about my dad? And that's when it really hit me, like, nothing could have ever happened to her. And then when I was stuck in that situation, I really lost it. I was like, how is this now happening to me again? Yes. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because I think that's why I push back from a lot. Like, I don't want to get connected with people because I know what it's like. Yeah. But then I really don't know what it's really like. Yeah. You know,
people's intentions sometimes are not the best.
Yeah.
But you have to kind of just, you know what I mean? And know your intention and know that your intention is good. Yeah. And it's, you know, your own self.
No, for sure.
And you cannot allow anyone come into your frequency.
And that's why I said my character strength is definitely love. You know, like I'm very sensitive and I'm very giving, you know, and I've had to protect myself.
Strength too.
But it is. And I take it. And I was like, man, because I cry doesn't make me weak. No. It actually makes me strong. The fact that I'm willing to cry on you know, on a podcast that anyone can, but so they can realize that I'm also human. I'm just like you. I feel like you. I hurt like you. And it's okay to cry. And I've even said it even for men. You know, that's one of the strongest things. No, man, sometimes you got to let it out. Yes. You know, and it's so liberating. It's so good. Like, that's how I feel like I could be myself. I could be vulnerable. Yeah. Like, I can let you in. Like, it's safe, you know, and for a long time I would tell Mike, I just don't feel safe going out into these public things. Like, you know, how do I fit in? It's like, no, he even tells me, no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
She is good.
So. Well, I'll be there. Wherever the event is, I'll be there. You can.
Yeah. No, for sure. Know? Yeah. And I know my heart is genuine and pure, but then again, that's where I have to check myself. Like, not everyone needs your love. You know, like,
and that's okay.
And that's okay. That's definitely okay.
So sorry, I wasn't. I was pulling up the character strengths. I had to find the website. But my first one is spirituality. My second one is fairness. Number 3 is gratitude. Number 4 is curiosity, and number 5 is kindness. Ooh. Those are my top 5.
And put that in a mixer and blend it, and comes out, Mike.
Yeah. But when you look at this, because me and her, when I first did it, you know, I was looking at it. And like love is number 9 for me. The one was like really low, and I was like, oh, leadership was 22. Woo! I was like,
that's it. Leadership. I'm curious now. You're gonna have to fill me in.
Yeah. How long does the quiz take?
It's I mean, you're gonna be on there for at least a few minutes.
I would say 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Dang. Not crazy lengthy.
I was gonna say I could start doing it now.
But it's really good. But no, sometimes I mean, you look at these, like some of them and be like, oh, that's kind of low. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. But like you said, you use all of them. Just some of them use just more than others.
Right, and it doesn't mean that they're not neck and neck, because sometimes you will be like, oh man, like it should have been something different, or it should have, you know, like kindness. I think a few of my other friends were like, I really didn't want that because people take advantage of kind people, but that's not the case. You know, that really is your superpower. The fact that you're able to be kind, because that's very hard for some people. Yes. And they don't know how to be kind.
Yeah. And my number 6 one is creativity, right? I'm a very creative person. I would thought that would be in my top 5.
Oh yeah, that did bother you.
Yeah.
Well, what's your top 1?
Spirituality. That makes sense to me. Right.
Maybe your creativity comes through your spirituality.
Right.
Or like curiosity is number 4. So maybe my curiosity, because I'm always like looking at things like, oh, I wonder how that could look like if I did that.
There you go.
Like I can be creative. I can look at something and I can design anything. I can look at that and be like, I can see different images from that.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't mean that you don't use it. It just means that the other ones come out a lot more. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like looking at my crush your goals.
Yes, that's your crush your goals.
Yeah, so we do this at the end, and I always say, for whatever reason, it lines up with our guests and our conversation. And today it says, I waited a long time out in the world before I gave myself permission to fail. Please don't ever bother asking. Don't bother telling the world you are ready. Show it. Do it.
I love that. 100%. That is right on point what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that.
And
Don't
again,
ask. Yeah.
And I had it turned down. I didn't even want to read it until I had to read it. And I love those. I'm so thankful that we're able to kind of just give this word of wisdom.
And see what I mean? Like that's right on point with you. Don't always just say, no, you need to show the world who you are. Just show them. You don't need the permission. Just go. Show them. Yeah. They're going to come up to your vibration.
Vibration.
They will.
No, and I know who I am, and I know, and I think that sometimes the strengths that I do have, sometimes people might be a little intimidated by it, and I think Janet kind of touched on that last time.
She did.
You know what I mean?
It made sense everything she was saying.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
Yeah, any words of wisdom from you, Miss Raina, before we head out?
Ooh, man, my words of wisdom.
Yes,
and I know you got a lot, girl. I've heard a few.
I think that I'm kind of going off of the understanding your mistakes and learning from your mistakes. I think that's a big one. So I think that we're human. We're going to make mistakes. How we move forward is what you're going to be changing in your life, right? And learning from those. And then when you learn from those, give it out to people and it'll be a ripple effect. If that makes sense.
No, it does. And I'm going to piggyback off that because I think people look at the word mistake and they're scared of it.
Yes.
No, embrace it. You're supposed to make mistakes because you cannot get to success without going through failure.
Correct. People
like
think that
you have to embrace
like
it. Yeah, you have to embrace it. Like how I was saying earlier about doing, hosting the gala. Like I was scared, I was nervous, but I did it. Yeah. In my mind, I did great. I'm proud of myself that I did it.
Yes.
No matter what anyone else thinks, I did it. Yeah. Again, effort. As long as you try something, you don't fail. You fail when you don't try.
Right.
Yeah.
So people need to embrace that. Like, just go out. That's why I tell people all the time, just do it. Like, don't think about what other people say. Like, just go do it. It doesn't matter if you suck at it. Continue to do it because you're going to get better.
Right. And I always say that true.
It is.
I always say that. I always say, even if you don't get it, just do it.
Just keep doing it.
Yeah, just keep doing it.
You're going to get better.
Even if you don't feel like you can hop on one leg,
just
keep doing it. Right? And I promise you, you can only get better from that moment and on.
You can. It can only get better. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I tell. Because people always talk about, again, I say this a lot because people always come up to me. Oh yeah, I want to do a podcast. Okay, go do it. Do you think I planned this show for months and years? No,
it just happened.
I just bought the equipment and I did it. And I knew over time, and we're getting better and better. Each season, we're getting better and better.
Right. It just popped up and never left.
Yeah.
Let me leave it like this. There's something that, let me just say this. So comfort creates self-care, but discomfort creates self-respect. And fear is discomfort.
There you go.
It is. Yeah. But people need to embrace it.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
100%. Wow. So, Raina.
Yeah.
What you got going on? Talk about Fusion Movement for a minute.
Sure.
Like, what you got going on? Because you got your Friday Latin nights.
I have a bunch of stuff always going on.
Let's talk about it. Tell the people what you got going on.
So we usually have Friday Latin nights every Friday. I've now brought it down to once a month. Right. So everyone has an opportunity to just come into once a month. Right. Okay. And I promote it throughout the month and everything. So what is Friday Latin Nights? It's basically people going out to a space where you can comfortably dance. I have a great floor, you guys.
Yeah,
It'll be a floor where you can just dance and have a good time and get to network and meet people. I have a DJ, I have tacos. So it's just a fun time, right? So you don't have that going out, like, let's say, like, Don Sol, and we have to, like,
no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We enjoyed the all-white party.
Oh, yeah.
That was our little first coming out with my hubby.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's like once a month and it's gonna have themes. So that's Friday Latin Nights. Then I have actually something.
So I'm sorry. So is it, because I'm looking at your flyer now, so is it assumably the last Friday of every month?
Yes, it's the last Friday.
So March 31st is the next one.
The next one. Okay. March 31st is the next one. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and I'll make more announcements throughout, right? But yeah, so it's going to be the last Friday of each month. And it's a lot of fun, guys. You need to come out.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's just a good time. So there's that. Then obviously I have group classes throughout the week. Again, just come out and try a class. My group class schedule is up on all my social media. Right now I'm only doing the popular social dances, but I know over 20 styles of dance, guys. Yeah. So if you ever are curious of any other style, we could do a private one-on-one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's that. I encourage it. It's so much fun. And then Friday ones are the ones where my husband and I teach together. So if you guys are just curious to try it out, come try it out Friday at 8:00. We're doing a bachata class. Hey. It's a lot of fun. And
so what's because I'm reading your schedule, it seemed like you changed the names. Like, for instance, Fridays 8 p.m. is bachata partner work.
Sure.
What is that? What is partner work?
Partner work is when you're working with somebody.
Yeah.
A partner. You're doing actually partner work, learning how to move with a partner, learning partner patterns.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a big one. But partner work is more like social, right? So partner work. Partner patterns is more technical. So I know this is all dance jargon, right?
Yeah.
And then I have another one that says just footwork. Footwork is you're just literally learning footwork by yourself, right? Because in effort for us to be able to dance with a person, you've got to feel confident on what you're doing. A lot of the people always say, "Oh, I'll just lead you," and the follower doesn't know.
I learned
nothing.
The male leads.
Oh yeah,
that's what Brian, your
my instructor.
Yep, he told my husband that.
There's a leader and there's a follower. Yeah. That's the reality of thing when it comes to in anything. There has to be a leader and there has to be a follower. There can't be two leaders at the same time because it causes a lot of friction. And there can't be two followers because where are we going?
Okay.
Right? And so that's it. So there has to be a leader and a follower. So then you're learning how to follow and you're learning how to lead. As a leader, you do have that. You have to learn how to guide your follower. As a follower, you can't anticipate the movement. Right. So you got to be able to follow, right? So that is what partner patterns are. You're learning patterns, and partner work is just more social, fun little patterns. Yeah. And then footwork is just learning by yourself. And
how to dance.
Yeah. So that's my group class schedule right there.
And it is a lot of fun, actually, when you kind of mix and match with the different style, different partners.
That's why I always encourage that you rotate. Yeah. Because not everyone's going to stay learn. Yeah. Because when you go out dancing, yes, you have a partner or whatever. Yeah, you are. But you're eventually going to dance with other people, whether it be your grandma, your mom, your uncle, whoever. You're going to be dancing with other people, so you got to be learning how to dance with other people. You can't just stay with one. You know what I mean? So that's why I always encourage that. Also, another big one that we are doing is we're doing a dance and mimosas heels class for the ladies. Oh, yes.
I've done that.
You had me excited with the mimosa.
That's what all the girls always say. So that is
it numbs the pain away.
Woo! She said. That is going to be happening March 25th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a 2-hour workshop. Yeah. So for 2 hours, girls, you're going to have some mimosas and then learn a fun choreography.
Yes.
So just some girl time. So that is going to be March 25th.
Yeah.
Dance and mimosas.
And I personally have experienced that, and I'll tell you.
I was always told you got to bring your knee pads.
Ooh,
oh yes, I always say bring
knee pads.
Knee pads.
Highly encouraged.
Highly encouraged.
You will be dropping, and you will be picking it back up.
Yep, pretty much. It's a workout. If people, I heard one time, oh, is dance a workout? Dance is a workout. Let me just publicly say dance is a huge workout, and it is a sport. It is a sport, people. Yeah. We are an artistic. We are the only artistic emotional sport. It really is.
Yeah. Oh, and also talk about you got a mixer coming up with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
I was literally about to. So May 5th, so Cinco de Mayo, we are having, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is having a mixer at my studio.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have drinks, we're going to have raffles, potentially DJ, and then also we're going to have live performances. I am gearing up to put a performance for everyone who goes to the event. Members is for free. Non-members are $10. We're going to have tacos. So very immersed in Cinco de Mayo.
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, May 5th. That is going to be a lot of fun. And I believe we haven't established the times yet. I believe it's from 6 to 8. I could be wrong.
And is Jessica in this performance? Since she is like, you guys are doing this together. I need to see Jessica in some type of performance.
I'm trying to get her in. I really am. The thing is that she's having that surgery on her back. That's right. So I want her, but she's having that surgery. So, but if I can get her in her, by all means.
Jessica. No excuses, Jessica.
I know. I know.
You have to do
something. Her in there.
You have to do something.
Put a brace on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what's going on. And honestly, guys, just follow me on FM Dance Co. I always have something going on.
You do.
I'm always putting something, and it's open to the public. Anyone can come. You just got to take that chance and just step in through the door. The rest is easy. Because you'll see my atmosphere that I've created, which is comfortable and loving and accepting.
Yeah.
Well, I always tell people you make it fun.
Yeah, you do.
You do make it
fun. And I'm a full figure gal, let me tell you. And I embrace it. I move with it. Because once you get there, you feel it. It's the energy.
You know what? I will say this. That's no excuse.
No.
I have danced. There are some professional dancers in the world. I've danced with a 300-pound man.
Yeah.
And that man was light on his feet.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Oh, I see.
It's nothing about weight. I always say that.
No.
Weight, people sometimes make excuses that it's weight.
No,
it's not. You can move just as easily. You just got to put in the effort.
Yeah.
That's
it.
You
do.
Yeah. I danced with a 7 tall feet man, 4'11". Hello. I was dancing. He was training me in Viennese waltz.
Yeah.
One of the 20 styles. And I'm telling you, I felt like I was floating because my feet were barely touching the ground.
Yeah.
But again, height, weight, all of that. It's an excuse.
Door.
You can do it.
You release. I mean, even that's for me. That's from personal experience, guys. So definitely get out to the heels. Wear something sexy and cute and let your hair down.
Yes.
Are you going to be doing something for the men soon?
You know what? I have encouraged my husband to do that because I think being taught by a man, and he said he will be doing a little sensual movements for the guys so they can learn how to properly move.
I'm setting myself up right now.
You know what?
I just thought about what I just said.
You're really trying to take that magic mic to another level.
I'm going to be telling him we have someone already registered. Mike.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
You know what? I'm cool with my cigar and my brandy. And just chill.
No, you talking all that talking. They gonna get you with that magic mic.
Maybe
stuff.
we could do a dance and a drink for the guys.
You know what? That actually would not be a bad idea.
You know what? All right, I'm getting on it.
Some of these gentlemen gotta learn that it's okay to pop them hips. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and leading.
Work the pelvic.
Yeah.
I'm not liking where this is going.
You know what?
Bring that Bengay with you. You're going to be all right.
I'm definitely not liking where this is going.
You started it, Mike. You started it.
That's what I said. I thought about what I said. I said
for Father's Day.
Ooh.
Yeah, I co-signed that.
Okay. Father's Day is coming around the corner.
All right, Brian.
We're all fathers.
All right, Brian. Get ready, Brian. You popping your hips.
Yes. I got 2 registered people right here.
All right, we are out here. Thank you, Raina.
Yes, Raina, thank you so much for making me cry. No, just fine. Yes. You made me feel comfortable.
Good,
thank you, and I appreciate that. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
Thank you so
much. Thanks for having me, guys.
No, thank you.
Second time. It keeps getting better. Mike, congratulations on your podcast, man. 3rd season. Let's go.
Yeah. Yes. Season 3 is coming up in April, you guys. I'm so excited about it. Yeah. Can't wait.
Yes.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you.
Doing it the Gotti way. We are doing it the Gotti way, y'all.
Be well, y'all.
Yes.
We out of here.
Right. Thank you.